Hello friends. Today I will tell you about one of the darkest episodes of the British science fiction series Black Mirror. A young woman smiling goes to a beautiful house promising something good, but she turns out to be only a dream. A rookie soldier is woken up and informed that it's time to move out on a mission. A food warehouse was robbed near the village, and it seems that cockroaches did it. The recruit does not yet know who the cockroaches are, so he is not afraid. A unit under the command of a female officer, Medina, arrives in the village where witnesses of the incident are being questioned, but no one saw the enemy, but they were heard. What remains after the raid will have to be destroyed because no one will eat this food. Medina promises to send groceries, and Strib inspects the warehouse. At this time, information is received that cockroaches broke the refrigerator and stole spare parts. One of the people points out where the tracks lead, and a young woman with a child in her arms asks the soldiers to stop the criminals and read some spells for good luck. Medina realizes that the tracks lead to the estate of a local crank obsessed with religion, Hightaker. Medina orders to burn the food and move to the suspect's house on the way. She says that Hightaker treated cockroaches in a special way, lets them into the house, and gives them food. Having reached the place, Medina sends a drone to investigate, and with its help carefully examines the house. There's smoke coming out of the chimney, so there's someone there. With the help of modern technology, the military gets an accurate plan of the house. Medina distributes the task. She intends to interrogate the owner. The rest must clean the house from cockroaches. The man reluctantly lets the fighters in and is in no hurry to answer questions. The military inspect the house until the women are trying to get the owner to talk. They explain that cockroaches are not to blame for the fact that they have become like this. It's not their fault. But the blood of these creatures is contagious to others, and if they are not stopped, humanity will turn into them. The soldiers find a cockroach den upstairs. Soldiers engage in battle with pale humanoids with sharp teeth who do not know how to talk. Meanwhile, the owner of the house attacks Medina without believing her words. During the slaughterhouse, all cockroaches are killed with the exception of one escaped into the forest. Grappling with one of the cockroaches, Stripe kills him with a knife and accidentally shines a device found next to the corpse in his face. The owner of the house is taken prisoner. By order of Medina, the estate is burned and they go to the base. Stripe falls asleep and sees the beauty again, but this dream seems to be glitching. He learns that the soldiers are specially shown erotic fantasies as a reward for murder, and immediately his vision begins to fail. Strange glitches are repeated during physical training. Medina asks what's wrong with him and sends him to the hospital. The doctor conducts an examination but finds nothing. Stripe tells about the device found near the cockroach, but the doctor has not heard of anything like this and sends him to a psychologist. Soldier he tells about his first fight and that he didn't feel anything special after killing a cockroach because he was defending himself, and he came here because his implant is glitching. The psychologist encourages him and enters special commands into the computer to ensure a sweet sleep for the Stripe. At night, he again dreams of a beauty who is unexpectedly cloned. A glitch occurs, and the Stripe suddenly wakes up. He sits on his bed for a long time looking at his sleeping comrades with the movement of their hands. It is clear that they also see vivid dreams. The next day, the soldiers go to the place provided by Hightaker where the cockroaches live. They inspect the building from a drone and Medina draws attention to the clean solar panels on the roof. Cockroaches pull electricity, but why? Due to the ongoing glitches, the Stripe's sense of smell is aggravated, which did not exist before. At this moment, the cockroach sniper kills Medina. The fighters are ambushed by Stripe and Raymond clean the building, and then Stripe again feels strange pains in his head, but Ryan forces him to rush on. In one of the rooms, Stripe encounters a woman who is trying to fight him off with a bat. He tells her to run, but then a shot is heard. It becomes clear to Ryan that Stripe sees people while Ryan sees cockroaches. When she shoots the creatures, the guy sees men and women falling. Stripe rushes at Raymond and cuts her down, but during the fight, he is shot. When he comes to himself, he sees a woman and a child next to him. He leaves with them. Raymond wakes up and sees a Stripe and 2 cockroaches running away. In the car, Stripe gets sick and passes out. Cockroaches takes him to a forest dwelling, and the woman tells Stripe that his implant changes his vision, so they can kill others without pity. Their friend Luca came up with a device that damages the soldier's implant and returns him to normal vision. Stripe does not believe this because he was told that cockroaches are vile animals. Ryan finds a Hummer abandoned in the woods and follows the trail. Stripe continues to ask, "What about the locals? They don't have implants." The woman explains that the locals hate cockroaches under the influence of propaganda and intolerance. It all started 10 years ago after the war. First there were examinations, DNA tests, then emergency measures. They began to be called creatures and blamed for the disease. Her name was Katerina, and the boy was Alec, but now they're just cockroaches. The woman is glad that Stripe sees her for real and strokes his cheek while Raymond tracks down the fugitives and bursts into the dwelling and kills both cockroaches. Stripe desperately tries to explain what is happening to her, but she knocks the guy out and returns him to the base where he is put in a cell. The psychologist who came to the cell treats the recruit to coffee and apologizes for the mistake. They didn't notice a big change in his chip. The device with a green light that he found in Hightaker's house is an optical transmitter assembled by cockroaches that infects military implants with a virus. The psychologist discusses wars and says that at the beginning of the 20th century, most soldiers refused to shoot and the commander had to force the soldiers to pull the trigger. Even in World War II, no more than 20% of soldiers conscientiously killed the enemy when the fate of the world was at stake. The war could have ended faster if the soldiers get a grip. Scientists were working on this, and by the Vietnam War, 80% of soldiers were already shooting without compunction. But those who killed returned home with a damaged psyche. That's when they came up with implants. It's much easier to shoot when aiming at a monster. The implant affects all human senses. Shooters do not hear screams, do not smell blood. Soldiers destroy inferior people, and this is an honor. Stripe does not believe in this, so the psychologist shows him a video proving that he voluntarily agreed to the implantation of an implant that changes memory and feelings. Stripe is trying to attack the psychologist. The psychologist manipulating the implant blinds him and offers to agree to reboot the chip, because then he will not remember anything. But Stripe refuses to reboot. Then they turn on the recording of his first mission when he brutally kills cockroaches begging for mercy, which, as it turned out, were people all this time. Stripe relives the terrible moments of the murder. The psychologist promises to put him in jail and show this record endlessly. Then Stripe agrees to reboot. He goes home and, getting out of the car, admires a beautiful house in which a dream girl is waiting for him. But in reality, he is standing alone near an old house painted with graffiti. Write what you think about the series in the comments, and don't forget to support it by subscribing to the channel.